via surrogate. This is CBS News.
You have enough things to worry about every day. Insurance shouldn't be one of them. You can leave worry behind when Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Let's think about customization presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Liberty Mutual customizes your auto insurance so you only pay for what you need. So why aren't more things in life customizable? Like, why do I have to pay a full gym membership when I don't even use all the equipment? Like the rowing machine. I don't know about you, but I'm not doing a ton of manual lake travel these days.
Go to libertymutual.com for a customized quote and you could save.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates, equal housing insurer.
Indeed knows finding the right hire takes time away from your business.
Hiring a qualified data engineer felt like a second job.
More job seekers use Indeed than any other site, so there's no better place to find someone with the skills you're looking for.
I needed someone with a master's in computer science and database experience.
Plus, Indeed screener questions help you find your shortlist fast.
Now I'm back to having just one job.
Get a $50 credit to give your first job posting premium placement at Indeed.com/credit. Terms, conditions, quality standards, and usage limits apply. Additional terms online.
A streaming show is deemed too controversial for viewers in Saudi Arabia. Netflix has blocked an episode of Hassan Minhaj's Patriot Act in the Muslim kingdom.
And when we last left our hero, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, the Saudis were struggling to explain the disappearance of journalist Jamal Khashoggi.
Netflix is complying with a takedown request made by the Saudi government, calling it a valid legal request to comply with local law. You can still see the episode here in the States. Make another New Year's resolution to eat healthy. Think plant-based foods, olive oil, whole grains, lean meat. U.S. News and World Report says a Mediterranean diet is still the best overall and easiest to follow. U.S. News calls it healthy, balanced, and nutritionally complete. Last year, the Mediterranean tied with the government's DASH diet to stop hypertension and lower blood pressure. This year, DASH is number 2, followed by the flexitarian diet, which allows animal products in moderation.
3, 2, 1.
Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news now.
Pratt Land and Development filed a lawsuit against the city council after what it calls illegal zoning that made its property unusable. The lawsuit names specifically Chip Henderson, accusing him and other defendants of grossly overstepping their authority. They demand that the zoning be reset to where it was before. Authorities say Edward J. McCone, a former Catholic priest assigned to the Chattanooga area, died in prison. He reportedly had a pattern of abuse involving as many as 30 boys over many years, starting in the 1970s. He served various parishes around the state, including Chattanooga and Nashville. The Chattanooga Police Department's increased patrols and...
Expect a cloudy and cool start to your Wednesday. Not as mild as the last couple of days. Highs into the lower 50s with a few late day showers. Tonight, more rain will pour in. Overnight lows near 45. A wet start to Thursday, then a break. Highs staying into the 50s with more rain by early Friday morning. Let Dodge City Ski Shop keep you and your family toasty warm with the largest selection of cold weather clothing as well as the area's only ski machine for that big winter trip. That's Dodge City, East Brainerd Road, Chattanooga. And I'm Soren Jean 12. She's meteorologist Patch Report.
Radio 92.7.
If you could wish for anything this Christmas, what would you wish for? Well, a Saudi Daisy family wished that $25,000 in credit card debt would disappear. Well, guess who got an early Christmas present? Listen up, y'all. I'm Ben Phillips with Home Rate Mortgage. I'm in the business of saving people money. And if you want to save money around Christmas time, pick that cell phone up right now. 805-9100. You're not going to believe how much you can save. Home Rate Mortgage just cleaned an installation manager's chimney, ridding his family of $25,000 in credit cards right before Santa delivers presents. The best part is Santa's going to be a little more merrier this Christmas because this Saudi Daisy family is saving $1,100 per month, and you can do it too. So give us a call today. It's time to get on the sleigh. 805-9100 or homeratemortgage.com.
Turn a house into a home. Home Rate Mortgage.
Warren and Griffin, a personal injury law firm, gives you this guarantee. It's a challenge, actually. If you have a car wreck and you do not meet with either John Mark or C Mark, they will not charge you an attorney fee and will pay you $500. Accept the Warren and Griffin Local Law Firm Challenge. Hey, folks, Jeff Stiles here, talk radio host and infamous technophobe. But I got to tell you, this Facebook Live that Nooga Radio does, it makes sense to me. It really does. Now, we're at 92.7 on the FM dial, but really where you need to go is NoogaRadio.com and just do the streaming audio, 8 to 10 a.m. The first hour is mostly just me just throwing commentary in on top of the news. The second hour is me frustrating and irritating you beyond all belief. NoogaRadio.com. Don't miss it. Every weekday.
Nooga Radio 92.7.
All right. Good morning, Chattanooga, Hamilton County and the region. Guys, you've landed on 92.7 FM. The Nooga radio station. Guys, you've landed on the Donna Show right here. I'm with Marcus Shaw. Guys, he's laughing because he's never seen me like this. This is where we connect you with people, information, and resources to live your best life. Why? Because you should. I do. And we're going to today. All right. Good morning, Marcus. How are you doing?
Good morning, Don. I'm doing great.
Good. It might take a minute to get this technical stuff worked out because I'm kind of hyped this morning. Got some extra breath going. We went up those stairs this morning. That's right.
And it's a new year.
Man, it is a new year. So
2019.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too.
Man, you've got a new gig, but like you're one of the most well-known people in the city now. Is that a good thing?
I hope so. I hope so.
It is. Well, guys, to the listener out there, thank you for tuning in. Happy New Year. I hope you had your black-eyed peas and your turnip greens. I hope you had your cornbread. If you're curious what all of that means, go to my Facebook, because if you didn't eat some black-eyed peas and turnip greens and cornbread, you might be in trouble in 2019.
That's absolutely right.
So we got our New Year's meal on yesterday, right? I didn't do a whole lot. I told you, all I've done for days is like slept.
You know, it's good to start the year off well rested.
It is.
To be able to have all that energy moving into the new year.
It is. And I think when you go as hard as I do and rest, you just, as you get older, you realize how valuable that is, right?
That's right.
So this week, we did have a couple of shows. We had the 31st show, which was my husband and myself and my son. Then we had a New Year's show with Marty and myself. We talked about the favorite things of 2018. And now 2019, I want to help our listener, Marcus, be their best self.
I love it.
Be their best self, whether you're a professional, in some line of your work, whether you are a supervisor at a warehouse, you're working on a line, or if you're an entrepreneur with an idea, you still have to know how to be savvy, how to be professional, right?
That's right.
But for those entrepreneurs, Marcus, I get a ton of questions in my business, on my Facebook, on my social media. Hey, I've got a business idea.
Right.
Hey, I'm working. I want to quit my job and go to this. But you got to start somewhere. So let me tell you, Marcus Shaw is the CEO of CoLab. If you don't know what CoLab is, go out there right now, search it, CoLab of Chattanooga. So Marcus, first off, just tell the listener who you are, a little bit about your background, from your education to your business background, but then tell them how you got to be the CEO of CoLab.
Donna, well, it's a great story. My background is not at all what you would expect running CoLab. I started off as an engineer, went to school for electrical engineering, went to work for IBM for a number of years, then decided that I wanted to learn more about business. And so I went to business school and got an MBA and did Wall Street for about 10 years.
Hold up, Wall Street.
Did Wall Street. Did New York City.
Wait, I can see you doing that. I can see you hustling, bustling. I used to go to New York and work out of there sometimes. I love it. Keep going.
Well, it was a good place when I was a younger man. But as you get a little older and family starts coming around, it means a lot to you. You want to get back to a place like Chattanooga. And
absolutely.
So it was incredible for me to be able to come back to this area. We originally grew up in Maryland. My wife and I grew up in Maryland.
I did know that.
My brother-in-law moved down here about 14 years ago, and he and his wife were both physicians. And so we started visiting Chattanooga.
So you kind of got that bug.
Back in 2004. It was unreal.
And it took you that long?
It did.
But you're here. So wait a minute. So 2004, you visit. What was it that stuck with you?
Really just the scenic area. It was such a difference from the city. At that time, we were actually in North Carolina. And then when we moved to New York, we'd come down every year for the 4th of July. And it's because you can have every firework here. The kids love it.
Every firework. And you can do anything. And even if you're in an area where you shouldn't, they let you. You kind of, sort of, kind of. So You came in 2004. What got you here, though?
So, as every smart man, I followed my wife down here.
Wait, you just earned 10 points with me. Wifey, you're teaching him well. You're right. If the wife is happy, it's a happy life.
Well, my wife is an incredible woman. She's a dermatologist, and she's over at Chattanooga Skin and Cancer. Plug to that.
Wait a minute. Where is she?
Chattanooga Skin and Cancer.
I'm going to go see her. I got to talk about it.
One office off Shallowford Road and the other in Cleveland.
Nice.
Incredible physicians over there. They make you look good and they help you be better.
Hey, that sounds like a plug. Y'all need to call me. I need to be in that office. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So you follow the wife here.
So I follow my wife down here, Dr. Marin Shaw. And
say that again. I just like the sound of that.
Dr. Marin Shaw.
Don't you like it?
I love it. Wife of 16 years, but followed her down here.
Hold up. You know I'm competitive. I got 22 and a half on you, but that's okay. Go right ahead.
And you look younger than me, too.
Oh, he just got 10 more points. Boy, Marcus is full of great words and encouragement this morning.
So what we did was there was an opportunity for her to join a practice, and we decided that at that point in time, we really wanted to do something different with life. A little bit of a personal note. I had a health illness about 3 years prior to that and was trying to figure out what I wanted to do after Wall Street. Did some work with a nonprofit up in DC in the interim, and then felt a real opportunity to move. We traveled an hour and a half to work each way every day.
Oh, now I used to live in Richmond, Virginia, and if you left at the wrong time of the day, it was a good hour and a half commute.
Yeah. And it was only 15 miles for us.
I hear you.
So...
and I love it when people in Chattanooga or Cleveland say, I'm going to go into town.
That's right.
Like, into town, and you're going 20 minutes on the interstate with no stops or anything. That's not a real commute. But anyway, go ahead.
But it was incredible. Yeah. And when we got here, we met a bunch of different people in the city. I asked, what's the coolest thing going on in Chattanooga? And Dan Gilmore from Squire Strategies.
Do you know who he? He's my attorney for MSI.
Well, he is an incredible attorney, an incredible person, a military man.
He's at UTC. He does all kinds. He is just a great man and a excellent attorney.
Fantastic. Yes. Fantastic. Yes. And also an incredible connector.
Yes. I'm the queen connector. He's the king connector for sure.
Right. Well, Dan actually hooked me up with Collab and said, you should go over and meet the team over at Collab.
Well, hey, we need to give a finder's fee to him or something.
That's right.
Because he did great recruiting you.
Well, thank you. And thank Dan and thank his wife as well. And so went over there and saw the pitch competition at Collab and started getting involved and, started mentoring some of the teams that were coming through there. Yep. And then about a year later, Mike Bradshaw, who was the former.
Love Mike and Mara.
Mike is an unbelievable person.
He is, and he is the epitome of professional integrity. And he pours into so many people, but nobody knows it.
Oh, my goodness.
But those he pours into.
Listen, Collab could not be where it is without.
I'm going to second that. I'm going to do an amen or pass an offering plate because I remember meeting with him on many times. And I'm going to say this, the generational gap. I loved it because even though it was there, you didn't know it. Mike knew how to tap into talent across generations. It didn't matter. He just knew what was needed in that moment, in that role. Like Allison did a phenomenal job. I know she's not there anymore, but everybody moves on to bigger, better things there.
Absolutely.
So let me speed ahead. I want the listener to really get the essence of who you are. So you came here, you've got a beautiful doctor as a wife. You followed her lead and she's happy. Right?
She's very happy. Happy wife, happy life.
Absolutely. But we benefited from that. Dan Gilmore, who was with Squire Strategies and just well known throughout the city, well respected. So this group of people get you here. You go, you interview for the job, you get the job. But now I'm going to tell you, I know what it's like to interview for that kind of job. And it wasn't just an interview. It was, it's a whirlwind, right?
It was a long process. Met a lot of the folks that are impactful and influential in the city because I think everybody needed to make sure that I could get the job done.
Well, and, I'm going to say this. I've been in the city a while. I've been fortunate to leave and come back and work out of big cities. But I'm going to say this, Chattanooga has seen some imposters.
Yep.
Let me say that again. I can because it's my show. We have seen some imposters who came in under the auspice of CEO and resume. And I'm going to say that. Now I'm going to say this, guys. I like it because they were intentional and they did want someone who could serve the community they look like. So I'm so thankful they chose an African-American male who truly had the diversity, the experience from New York to business to Wall Street. All of that and the fact that you are an African American man, it really does mean a lot to people like me. If everybody looks like me, Marcus, and they're in these roles of CEOs, we're just not going to be as great as we can be. So I do want to touch on that if you're okay with that. Diversity, inclusion. I know what CoLab is about. Now let's jump into that. CoLab is there to help anyone who has an idea, a thought, any kind of business idea. It doesn't matter how small. When you look at the website, it clearly articulates that. It doesn't matter if you're thinking about having another coffee shop. Well, we need another coffee shop like we need a hole in the head in this city. But it's okay. If you're going to do that, guess who's there to help you? CoLab. So for all you listeners who ask me, do I need a business plan? Do I need to network? We're going to jump into that right now. So from an African-American man, though, I want to say this again, guys, we're doing better as a city. We're not there yet, but we're doing better. So I want you to speak from that position. You've been to New York. So coming to Chattanooga, it is different.
It is.
And there's some clear issues with, from diversity. And I hate that word diversity, from inclusion. But talk about your experience and speak to that African-American who says, I have a business, an idea, but I'm getting stopped at every corner. Yeah.
So I think, and I'll point to some of the values at CoLab that we put in is our strategic plan, which started off this year. The first of our core values is the maker mentality. We want people to really harness the power of the maker, harness the power of creativity and innovation, right? Whether you're starting up, a craft business or whether you're starting up a high-tech business, you got to think like a maker, right? You got to have
even as a service. If you're dealing with people, you still have to think like that.
You're a perfect example, right? I mean, you think every day about who do I want on this show? What do I want to talk about? What's important to the community? How can I resonate? That is a maker mentality.
I like that. And I've got the maker mentality.
You are an entrepreneur.
Fist pump. Like it. Yes.
Our second value, and I say this because I think it's really important that all three of these words mean something to people. Diversity, inclusion, and belonging. Diversity just means that you're having people that look different at the table.
Yes.
Right? Inclusion means that you're allowing them to be impactful in the output of whatever you're trying to do. Right? So they're not just there for a face.
Listener, get that. Say that one more time.
They're allowed to be impactful in the outcomes of whatever you're doing.
So, ladies, I'm going to say this. I've sat at many tables with many men, red, yellow, black, and white, and been the only female. But I didn't have a voice. And they thought they were doing me a favor by letting me sit at the table. No, you weren't. Not at all.
And so the third word, and I can't take credit for this, Pat Waters, who used to be the chief human resource officer at LinkedIn, really started running with this idea, is belonging.
So you don't know this because you and I are still learning one another, and would say you, Marty, and I are in those first year or two of our friendship. But this is what we live every day, Marcus. And I really get tired. We're part of the leadership team of Chattanooga Connected with Dana and Nathan. But I get tired of people talking about diversity. I cannot stand the word. Here's why. I'm just over it. I'm over it. So I heard someone, it's been around for a long time. You've probably heard this, but they talk about diversity is being asked to the party, right?
That's right.
But inclusion is when they ask you to dance.
That's right.
So, you can look at it any way you want, but I love that. And that is why I had CoLab on here. There's a lot of organizations. I get a lot of messages and we want to talk about it, but my listener needs what you're offering.
That's right.
So going back to that final thing, that belonging, talk about, now that's kind of the three cores of what you guys focus on. There's a ton of people out there right now saying, how can this guy help me? What in the world is CoLab? And I've had people say, well, they're in that innovation district and they got a lot of money. I don't have money. And no, it's not, guys. Don't let the building deceive you. That's their brick and mortar.
That's right.
But how does that person get involved? What are the programs that you guys have available? And we still have 7 minutes on this side of the show, so we got a lot of time to talk. But what are those programs? So we got the three focuses, and I love that. But what are the programs right now to the person trying to do a coffee shop, the auto body shop, or hey, they're looking at some kind of innovative app?
So the program that I think is most available to the entire community, number one, CoLab is a community asset. It's available to everybody truly throughout the region, whether you're in the city of Chattanooga, Hamilton County. Honestly, we serve 10 counties surrounding Hamilton County.
And I want to knock the myth out today that's one of the reasons, again, Marcus and I were talking. I want you to see CoLab as touchable, accessible. It is your CoLab. Does that make sense?
That is exactly right.
It's your CoLab. And I want to knock that myth that some reason that Edney building is oh, you can't go in there unless you got money. You can't go in unless you got a business plan. Scratch that. They are on the first floor for a reason.
That's right. And we're the front door. And that's why I want to get back to this word of belonging.
Yes.
That when people come into CoLab, I don't care whether you're a kid that's just got an idea, you're, a retired individual that feels like, oh, I want to start a second phase of my life, whether you're a vet that's coming home from overseas and is trying to figure out, how do I make my way back into this world with some of the ideas I have? You belong in that building, and that building belongs to you. And that's what belonging's about, right?
Yes.
To use your analogy about being asked to dance, the inclusion is being allowed to dance, right?
Yes.
The belonging is being able to do whatever dance you want to do.
Oh, freestyle.
That's it.
I love that. So, guys, do you get that? Again, I'm going to say it to the African-American listener, to the female listener, to the vet, to everyone. I'm going to say that. But I love to focus on those who are underserved. And in our city or county or region, women, minorities, and vets are underserved. Does not mean that anybody else should not be the focus, because they should. But I want to go back to this, guys. If you're working, I've had so many friends, Marcus, when they're working these corporate jobs, and I thought I would die in corporate America. I was that girl, literally, man. I had it all mapped out, close to CEO, maybe by the time I'm 60.
Right,
I had it mapped out. But guys, when you start figuring out what it is that really matters in your life, and you have these ideas and dreams, don't let it sit idle. Don't let it sit there. I'm going to go back to what he said. Marcus said, it is truly open to the city. So the Edney building, the Innovation District downtown, if you're in Soddy Daisy, if you're in Cleveland, if you're in any of the 10 counties that are served by CoLab, walk in. You don't have to prep a lot.
You don't have to prep anything.
You don't have to bring paper and pen. I'm telling you, I've been in there a million times. And Errol Wynn, it never fails. That dude is there smiling. He'll throw a hand up to everybody. He'll throw that hand up, and I'm like, dude, hey. But it's exciting in there. So what help can they get? What actual tactical help? Can they get help with a business plan?
So you can get help with everything that you need. We have something that we call a wayfinding meeting.
I've seen that on there. Wayfinding
meetings.
Okay.
You can go online and set it up, or you can just walk in.
Okay.
Right? There are no barriers to coming into CoLab. You come in, you say, I have an idea that I want to sit down with somebody and think about. And the point of the wayfinding meeting is to actually be a quarterback, to point you in the direction that you should go
to find
as your first step,
to find a way to make it happen. That's like third grade simple.
That's right.
That's what we do on my show. We make it very simple, third grade. So no barriers. So I want to go back to that. Guys, there's so many barriers. I'm just going to tell you my own. First of all, it was working my own. It was working a career.
Yep.
That was the first barrier. And then I realized it wasn't a barrier.
That's right.
When I finally matured and realized, wait a minute, this is the way to fund what I'm going to do. And Oprah says it best, do what you have to do until you can do what you love to do.
It.
So some of the things I would say that barriers for me, it was being a female. That was one. I think it was also being in the industry that I'm in from, HR and such. But then the other barriers, some were mental for me.
Yeah. Well, the mental barriers are huge. And so wayfinding meeting is a great first step for people to gain more confidence in pursuing that opportunity. At CoLab, I talk about kind of the 9 fundamentals of being an entrepreneur. And it's broken down into 3 groups. I'll talk about the first, right? So
yes, and we can get the rest on the second half because I want to hear this. Go, I'm writing down.
But
you better be writing, listener.
The toolkit, right, that we talk about having is confidence, knowledge, and relationships. Right?
Say that again. Confidence,
knowledge, and relationships.
Everything in life will fail or succeed due to a relationship.
That is it.
Everything.
And it's not just entrepreneurs. This is, you touched on the top of the show, that these rules for entrepreneurship, we believe, apply to anything. They apply to your family. Right?
Yes.
If you're dealing with a teenager, try to walk in there and have a conversation with them without having any confidence, any knowledge of what they're going through, and any type of relationship with them.
True.
Right. So that toolkit, we believe, is applicable to anything.
It is.
Right. On the next section, we can talk about the objectives and the actions. But I think what you've got to start off with is what tools are you going to use?
Say that again. So the first is confidence.
Knowledge.
And relationships. And guys, I'm going to second that. When you think about it, and you know this, Marcus, and probably your wife would speak to this, as you get more mature and older in your career, you start having a confidence you don't even know you got.
Oh, that's right.
You know what I mean? You just walk into the room and then later someone say, man, Marcus, man, I don't know if you noticed this, but man, you're so confident everywhere you go. And I was watching you talk with the mayor and how you held yourself, and you walk away thinking, oh, I was just being me.
Comes with the gray hair.
It does. It does. Trust me. Well, we redheads don't gray. I'm going to say that, right? But the reason I'm saying that, guys, is I'm at a point I don't recognize it as much.
Yeah.
So what you're making me do is reflect and say, ooh, that confidence is something I've earned and I've worked for. So guys, but it's really real. You cannot hide a lack of confidence.
And here's the key. And this is what entrepreneurs get when we focus on our pitching, right? And we can always talk about pitch competitions and pitching for entrepreneurs. That doesn't necessarily make your business any better. But what it does help you do through repetition is build a confidence.
Yes, that's true.
In what your business is about, build a confidence around understanding your blind spots and your weaknesses.
Oh, I like that. I like that. And I've never heard it put that way, but that is true. And guys, you think about who you are, where you are, you always need tweaking. You always need improvement. And the thing I like about CoLab is, for myself, even as an established businesswoman, I know that there's still many things I haven't done, and I've got to go to somebody. And right now, the other part of this in a business, Marcus, is businesses fail because they don't know how to scale. That's a rhyme. They fail for lack of understanding how to scale. So guys, we've got about 10 seconds left on this side of the show. We are with Marcus Shaw. He is the CEO of CoLab Chattanooga. They cover 10 counties. Guys, it is the place to take your business idea, sit down, talk, chat. But guys, we still got to talk more. This man is full of information. You hear that music, Marcus? All right, good. We got to pay for the show. Look, I don't even have to tell him to dance. You know when coolness has hit the studio, right? You do. You know when it's happened. So guys, right now, stay tuned for the other side of this show. Businesses, entrepreneurs, individuals. You want to be your best self? That's what we do here on Nougat Radio, 92.7 FM with the Donna Show. Stay here, guys. We'll be back in about 5.
3, 2, 1.
Chattanooga Radio, Digital FM 95.3 HD4, 92.7 FM's news now.
Pratt Land and Development filed a lawsuit against the city council after what it calls illegal zoning that made its property unusable. The lawsuit names specifically Chip Henderson, accusing him and other defendants of grossly overstepping their authority. They demand that the zoning be reset to where it was before. Authorities say Edward J. McCone, a former Catholic priest assigned to the Chattanooga area, died in prison. He reportedly had a pattern of abuse involving as many as 30 boys over many years, starting in the 1970s. He served various parishes around the state, including Chattanooga and Nashville. The Chattanooga Police Department's increased patrols end today as the holiday season comes to a close. The CPD, along with the THP, were present in force on our roadways for the holiday season. Part of the reason for that is October was one of the deadliest months ever for Chattanooga drivers. Russell Stroud, Nougat Radio News Talk 92.7 Action News now.
Sean Hannity, weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 p.m. on Nougat Radio 92.7 FM.
Nougat Radio 92.7.
The first responders, these are the men and women who put themselves in harm's way for us. And here at Nougat Radio, we want to do our part to say thank you. On Nougat Radio, every Friday is First Responder Friday. We'll honor a first responder with a thank you gift from Nougat Radio's community partners. If there's a first responder you'd like us to honor, go to NougatRadio.com and submit your nomination. First Responder Friday, sponsored by Doug Yates Towing and Recovery, the Mad Philly Sandwich Shop, Newark Pizza Department, and Nougat Radio 92.7 FM.
Even if you like your job, there are some things that can drive you nuts, like the anonymous coward who steals your lunch from the break room fridge, or maybe Tyler, the IT guy, who gives you that condescending look when you tell him that your computer is acting up again, as if somehow it's your fault. You put up with these clowns every single day. But what happens when you've had enough? That's the day you decide to retire. At least that's the hope, right? But will you be able to retire? Can you afford to retire? That's why you need to talk to Ron and Christy Adams at One Family Financial. They can't do anything about Cody, that moron who heats up fish in the microwave, but they can strategize with you on how to get the most out of your 401k or pension, how to grow your money without losing your shirt in the market, and how to help make your money last in retirement. Talk to Ron and Christy today about whether you'll be ready to retire when you finally had it with seeing Ethan walk out of the bathroom again without washing his hands. Gross. Call Ron and Christy Adams at One Family Financial, 423-710-2009, 423-710-2009.
Whether Whether you have marginal, moderate, or even extensive hair loss, you don't have to live with it. Finally, there's a procedure that becomes a part of you, and it requires no daily maintenance or special care. Let Apollo Hair Systems give you a free hair and scalp analysis today. Call 423-803-1011 and schedule this free evaluation today. Open Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Friday and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Apollo Hair Systems, 5512 Ringgold Road in Chattanooga. 423-803-1011 for Apollo Hair Systems.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. This is your sandwich speaking. Yeah, your sandwich. And you know, you can't find me any place but the Mad Philly Sandwich Shop. Mad Philly Sandwich Shop, just off 153 on Shaliford Road. It's in the little plaza. Hey, check out these buns. Yeah, they're Amorosa. All the way from Philly. So bite me. You want a real Philly cheesesteak? Check out my meat. Throw some cheese on it and grilled onions. Oh, yeah. Now that's what I'm talking about. Only at the Mad Philly Sandwich Shop, where you'll always get the real taste of a Philadelphia cheesesteak. Plus hoagies, burgers, sandwiches, salads, fresh cut fries, tater tots, and other stuff. Mad Philly Sandwich Shop, just off 153 on Shaliford Road, right across from Mountain View Service Center. It's in the little plaza. Hey, come on, we're waiting for you here. So just shut up and eat it.
Expect a cloudy and cool start to your Wednesday. Not as mild as the last couple of days. Highs into the lower 50s with a few late day showers. Tonight, more rain will pour in. Overnight lows near 45. A wet start to Thursday, then a break. Highs staying into the 50s with more rain by early Friday morning. Let Don City Ski Shop keep you and your family toasty warm with the largest selection of cold weather clothing as well as the area's only ski machine for that big winter trip. That's Don City, East Brainerd Road, Chattanooga. And I'm Sorgene 12. She's meteorologist Patch Report.
The radio 92.7.
All right, guys, we're back. We hit it on 92.7 FM. Guys, I'm here with Marcus Shaw. We're living life and loving it. Every second on the Donna Show, guys. Nooga Radio, 92.7 FM. Guys, I bring you together. I put all things out there, community, and I connect you with people, information, and resources to live your best life. Why? Because you should. I do. And guess what? That's what it's about. Isn't that right, Marcus? Absolutely. It's all about it, guys. So we are right back here. Make sure I can see him and the viewers can see him. Facebook, you know, we're radio, but Facebook is like awesome.
Facebook is awesome.
I love my watchers, love my listeners. So we are here today with Marcus Shaw, the CEO. Guys, he's got to see me dance. See, the only thing you see of me is when I'm shaking hands and, you know, like doing this normal, you know, stuffy thing. But it's funny. I was watching you. I'm going to go back and look at the video. The first time somebody stands here with me and they've not been in the station, right, all they do is laugh. Now, to my listener, if I was really like self-conscious or if I had, you know, got my feelings hurt easy, didn't have the tough skin, I'd think you were laughing at me. But then again, every guest does it. So it's comical. It's fun.
It's fun.
Well, I can't imagine what I would feel like if I came into your studio and saw you doing this.
I'm not as good at dancing as you.
Well, yeah, I'm going to take that one. I'm going to take that. So, guys, again, thank you for joining the Nooga Radio 92.7 FM, the Donna Show, guys. We are connecting you to all things community. So I do listen to my listeners, right? I listen to them. You guys have got ideas. Shauna Hickson, I'm thinking about you and your business. All the people who are listening and Facebooking, Instagramming, saying, I've got an idea, I've got a business, or I'm already running a business. I had a friend tell me the other day, I can't keep enough cash. Like she'll run to the bank, she'll make a deposit.
Yep.
And it's that she said, I've been living that way for like 2 years. I can't do that, Marcus. So Marcus Shaw is the CEO of CoLab. I want him to talk to you today. He's going to share a few things he wants to share, but I want to start off with the second part of the show to that person who already has a business. Okay. I don't care if it's a salon, coffee shop, doesn't matter. You've created an app. Marcus, what do they do to take it to the next level?
Yeah. So at CoLab, and we talked a little bit on the first segment about the tools that you need to have. That's confidence, right, knowledge, and relationships. The objectives for every company is going to be building customers, building capital, and building capacity. So when you talk about, I'm
going to say it again because I want that listener to get it.
The objectives for every business to build customers, build capital, and build capacity.
Customers, capital, and capacity. I love it.
So those are our 3 C's for entrepreneurship. What we see oftentimes is that entrepreneurs lose focus temporarily on the capacity side or the capital side. All right. And so,
and give more to one side,
give more to one side than the other. They don't quite understand their customer. And number one, that the customer that they had when they started the business may be different than the customer they have today.
Because they've grown.
They've grown. Exactly. Competition enters the market.
And that again is that's your beauty shop on the corner.
That's right.
That's your bellhops who's growing, right? It's
$31 million raise.
So it's
last year.
That makes me want to fall on the floor.
Also a collab company.
Was it? Okay, wait. So we're going to get there. So that is a collab company.
So bellhops came through Will This Float in 2012.
Okay, so Will This Float, guys, is a program you go and you pitch, right?
Right. It's a pitch competition during Startup Week.
Wow. See, I didn't know that. Even I did not know that. And you heard it right here.
That's right here. And here's the funny thing. They did not even win the pitch competition.
There you go. Now, I'm a fan of that. I'm a fan of losing so I can win later.
And I think Cam and the team over there is winning big time.
So, hey, you may I've had some losses. Yeah. I've had some ideas that honestly, I wouldn't even tell them because I'm thinking, did I really think it would work? But those failures absolutely catapulted me to where I am, and I'm not done yet.
You've got to have that kind of a mindset, right? A tenacious mindset in order to be an entrepreneur, right? If no gets you down, or if losing, frustrates you to the point where you can't move forward, then entrepreneurship may not be the thing that you want to put your bread and butter on the table with. Right.
So it may not. So let's make sure we're keeping this because I've got so much information and I love this. So you've got this toolkit. Let's keep talking through the toolkit. And then I want to talk about what you just said, because sometimes the end result you find out is that this is not a good idea or I am not made for this. But going back to your toolkit, we've said the first three were.
So the toolkit, the tools that you use in this framework are confidence, knowledge, and relationships.
Okay. And the second?
Your objectives are customers, capital, and capacity. Okay. And now the third, so there's a third framework that you use here, and it's what you should be doing. It's your actions.
Wow.
If at any point in time you're not doing one of these three things with the tools that you have and focus on the objectives, you're not being successful.
Okay.
Build, manage, and sell.
Wow. Build, manage, sell. Guys, I'm telling you as a businesswoman, like I can tell you just from what you just told me, there's some things I need to go back to my office and change. Seriously.
Well, you're always thinking about it. It's an iterative process.
It is.
You're never done.
So that is the other thing, guys. I'm going to say this to you, and this is what I tell my team, Marcus. Condition yourself to hear the no. Condition yourself to hear the pain, the suffering, the challenge. Condition yourself to know it's going to fail, but also condition your mind for the opportunity and the success that comes, right?
That's right.
But I'm going to tell you my ratio. I'm curious. I'm so serious about 5 failures, maybe 6 or 7 to every success.
Oh, wait, you're phenomenal.
Okay, maybe 10.
You're phenomenal.
So, but you see what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
But you get that. So now to the listener, I want to get to a specific question. I had so many people who are already that 2-year to 5-year mark.
Yes.
Okay. And there's a reason why they talk about a 5-year success, right? Yes. At 5 years in business, they say, if you're there and you've succeeded, you're probably going to be able to make it.
That's right.
Right. Doesn't mean you will. It means most likely you still have to keep doing what you're doing. But to that business right now, and I have a few people in mind, they're just stuck. What can you do to help them? Is it a wayfinding meeting to first start?
Yeah. So one of the things that we can do is have a wayfinding meeting and then establish a relationship with that organization. They may just need somebody to provide advice on a continuous basis, or they might actually want to engage in one of our programs like Co-Starters.
Yes.
Which is actually available for people to be intentional about focusing on their business, certain aspects of their business where they may be underperforming to help get them unstuck.
And guys, let me say this, like I'm going to say it from me. I'm a COO of a human resource firm, multi-million-dollar company. I'm not going to say how many because we know that 5 and 10 million doesn't mean you're making a ton of money, right? We still know that. But nonetheless, I'm going to tell you that I have no shame in saying, hey, Marcus, there's some things I'm just not getting. And I need to have a meeting with you. I have no shame because here's the thing. The shame should be when you don't ask for help or seek help.
That's right.
So I want to make sure I love things on a 3rd grade level. So let me just make sure you understand what CoLab is. CoLab is an entity, a nonprofit organization that is funded by many companies such as Benwood. Give me a couple of
Lyndhurst, Unum. We have a partnership with Unum now, which is incredible.
Awesome. But see, some of you people now, you may not know in terms of, what the funding, you may not have any idea about any of that. And that's cool. But let me just tell you, it has to run, it has to function, it has to have arms to reach people like you and me. So that's where the funding is. But I want to break it down even better. If you're sitting there and you've had any ideas, it does not matter if you're in Saudi, if you're in Cleveland, if you're downtown, whatever the idea is, as simple as you think or as complex, you can go to CoLab. They're breaking down the barrier so you don't have to get in line and call and you can show up, or you can email, or you can call. They're seriously opening up their doors so that you can come in. Who is a likely person, Marcus? Anybody. Red, yellow, black, and white. Educated, not educated. Homeless. You think I'm kidding? If you've got a great idea, we've run into some entrepreneurs on the street.
We've had 2 this year.
And you're right across from Patton Towers.
We do a program actually over at Patton Towers, a Get Started program.
Talk about that.
So Arrowin, who you talked about earlier.
Let's give him a shout out. I want to give a whole shout out to the team. Can we do that?
Absolutely.
Can you kind of call their names? Because they're rock stars in the city. Just Arrow. Who else is over there?
Arrowin, Jennifer Shellum.
Jennifer.
Have you met Jennifer? Jennifer ran Tech Birmingham and came up to Chattanooga about a year and a half ago.
I saw her, but I've not met her.
She's a phenomenal woman. Her husband's actually the head of the Sim Center over at UTC.
Oh, we got to connect. You got to connect me. I've already connected you with people today, so you owe me a connection.
That's right.
So who else is out there?
Tim Moore, who runs our comm stuff.
Okay.
Zach Becker, who is really the administrator for the Co-Starter program.
Nice.
Just an incredible team over there. The one person that we really got to talk about too is Katie Hendricks. Katie recently came to CoLab to lead up our Kiva program.
Oh, I love
and
the Kiva
talk
program.
a little bit about Kiva later on.
Yeah.
But she's doing a phenomenal job. We had an incredible launch during Startup Week for the Kiva program. Almost $40,000 raised to date for entrepreneurs.
Wow.
Here.
And Errol, he has a campaign
Errol
right
has
now.
a campaign right now for #Mall. He has 7 days left.
Guys, 7 days left. So I'm going to try to get him on my show tomorrow or Friday because we got to help people. That's what this show is about. And he's killing it. He's out there. He's pushing it. And you want to help people who help themselves.
Exactly. And it goes right to those objectives that we talked about. Capital.
Yes.
Right.
And
figuring out how to get capital and customers.
And guys, it's not always going to some rich uncle or some VC that you meet in the Edney building. It doesn't happen. If you knew my story, Marcus, it would even surprise you.
Well, I will tell you, 80% of the entrepreneurs that we help during the year are not trying to get venture funding or not looking for, millions and millions of dollar funding. They're really the regular people that you meet out here in Chattanooga and in the region.
They really are like us. And that's what I find. It's not like people are out here asking for $500,000 or 1.2 million. People are really asking for, I'm going to say, and I don't mean to say, oh, like I've got all this money, because I don't, but small money in business,
right.
$5,000.
And part of what we did, we put out our insights report this year, and you can see that on our website at colab.co, colab.co. But there's a matrix of opportunities that people are looking for funding. And part of bringing Kiva to the city was to find opportunities for entrepreneurs that are looking for smaller dollar amounts.
Now, is Kiva focused on African Americans? Is it focused on females? Is it focused on everyone?
Kiva's focused on absolutely everybody.
I didn't know that. Okay, so Kiva, tell us what that is.
So Kiva is an international platform.
I did know that.
That does crowdfunding for people that are trying to raise money for startups. So
and more of the smaller dollars.
It is a smaller dollar, up to $10,000.
Oh, wow, okay.
It is a zero interest loan, right? And the loans are provided by the community members. So all you have to do is go to kiva.org.
Kiva.org.
Sign up to be a lender.
Sign up.
And then if you, in the search bar, put in Chattanooga, you come up with a list of companies in Chattanooga that have open Kiva platforms. And you can find companies that are coming through CoLab that have open Kiva campaigns. If you go to colab.co/Kiva.
Well, I tell you, we've got it's funny, time goes by fast, 8 minutes, and I want to make sure we talk about the few things you want to get out there. But I'm going to ask you on the air, I want to partner with you. Okay. I want the Donna Show to partner with you. Why? I know my challenges that I had and still have as a business person, but I am a firm believer in access and exposure.
Yes.
You cannot expect people in our city to succeed without giving them access and exposure. And that has nothing to do with color, has everything, or race or gender. It has everything to do with those in power, sharing, opening up the doors. And what do I mean by that? You and I are perceived to have a lot of social capital and power. If we do not open up our doors and partner together, and to make sure other people like Errol and other people who don't have as much resources as Errol to succeed and thrive. And so that is very important to me. So I want to partner with CoLab. I want to talk about how we can bring a little more visibility to my listener, how my listener can get a little closer to the CoLab experience. I do want to make sure they know about a few of these events. The big thing you guys do, you said the wayfinding. We already know that, guys. And we're going to make sure we put this on the Nooga Radio Show page as well as my social media. But when you talk about the programs, one of the launch, what is it? You said it earlier, where they go with a pitch.
So we have our launch, Will This Float?
Will This Float? And Will This Float, it's kind of saying, will your ideal work?
That's right.
right?
That's right.
And there's a ton of people who enter that.
That's right.
Is there a cost?
There is no cost to enter it. And in fact, we did it this year around the Kiva program. So all of the people that were in the Will This Float competition this year were all people that had open Kiva campaigns.
Love that.
And so what I love to say about that program is that everybody is fully funded that participated in that program.
That's amazing, guys, to be fully funded. What amazing. And that's just success.
And so nearly $40,000 raised by 5 companies in under a month.
40,000 by 5 companies.
And here's the special part. That money came from the community. And so those people will now pay the community back their non-interest loans.
Wow.
And they'll pay the people back. And not only are they building capital, but they're also building customers.
What an investment.
Yeah.
And I just don't know that in my lifetime I would have ever had anybody offer me something like that. But what I like about it, Marcus, it makes the entrepreneur, business person work for it.
Yes.
So, Errol is all the time out there working it. He's never lazy. I look at that and he doesn't know that.
Yeah.
But when people are asking for money, I'm watching. What are you doing? Are you acting foolish? Are you just doing a bunch of selfies? Or
That's right.
Are you truly working it?
That's right.
And he is one of those that work it. He's lost. He's succeeded. But people trust him. So I'm saying to Errol and to all those people, keep doing what you're doing. The funding will come to you. I know that sounds easy coming from me, but it will come if you keep doing the right thing. So when people want to practice a pitch, now I'm all about the mirror. I'm a mirror person. So how can they get involved and perfect their pitch so that they can be a part of these programs? Is that what you help them do?
Yeah. So part of what we can do after a wayfinding meeting and understanding what it is that you really want to work on and where we can steer you, we can also always have people come in and do mentoring sessions. And
love that.
As part of that, they can do pitches. We can have them on video. We can critique them.
Yeah.
As part of our accelerator program, which is for companies that are a little further down the road, pitching is a big part of that.
It is. And if you can't, just like this right here, you have to be able to get up on a moment and talk.
That's
and
right.
You don't have to be a Donna or a Marcus to do it. But if you're going to be in business, you better learn to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
That's exactly right. And here's one of the keys that I give to people. Team is so important.
Yes.
If you can't or you don't feel comfortable getting up and communicating your idea, in a concise manner that makes people want to be a part of that, you need to find somebody that can.
And guys, it's okay.
It's okay.
Marty and I have always played that role of I was in the front, he was not. Now, as we've progressed and he's the CEO and it requires him to be that person, of course, he's just done what he normally does and he's great at it. But I've learned that's one of the biggest challenges people have. Well, I can do this and I can do hair and I can order inventory and I can, but please don't put me on a mic and please don't take a picture of me.
Well, this goes back to the actions. Build, manage, sell. Right?
Yes.
A builder is the person that has the idea. They're the architect. They're building up, whether it's the show or building a product, right? Or building for MSI, building that concept.
Yes.
Right. The manager is the person that keeps the thing running day to day. Right.
That's right.
They're taking care of the bills. They're making sure that HR and all the team players there are working at their highest level. Right. And then the person who's selling is out there selling to the customer.
Yes. Yes.
And they're making sure that the value of the product and the value of the service is being communicated to the customer.
Love that.
And you got to have, very rarely, I've never seen somebody that can do all three.
You know what? I'm sitting here thinking from an HR perspective and the DNA and like the DISC profile comes to mind.
Yes.
You're right. They're typically not the same. You might have a great D who can extend and do those transferable things, but they're not really going to be the expert.
That's right.
And what we love at MSI is we're all about staying in our lane,
That's
right? Our partners are Bruce and Byron with Trenco Logistics, great people. But, again, all of us together in the ventures we have, I've learned really from them. And it's funny because it's trucking and logistics, but about staying in your lane.
Yep.
and it's so funny because we use that as some of the analogies. But guys, when you stay in your lane, some people take it like, well, Marcus, he's kind of raining on my parade. I like doing that PR stuff, but guys, it's not that at all. It's when you get experts together and professionals or just good people who realize my strength is X, Y, and Z. Yours is X, Y, and Z. Let's just bring it together.
Right.
You shouldn't ever be inferior to someone because they're great at what they do. So, Marcus, we've got literally 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Are you going to come back?
Absolutely.
So I am going to ask you, we have a C-suite series we're launching this year.
Oh, man.
All right, very soon. Marty, our CEO, is going to be the contributor on that as well. So I'm going to ask you to be a part of that C-series. And
I would love to.
It's all about what CEOs are doing in our city. A lot of people think, and I'm going to say it like this, that you, Marty, people with that title are untouchable and unreachable. But I'm going to say that's not the case again and knock those stereotypes out. From this redhead, if I want to get in touch with somebody, I'm going to get in touch with them.
Right.
If I want to execute a business plan, I'm going to do it. So guys, you got to be relentless in chasing your goal. 2 C's, never lose conviction and always remain committed. Guys, without commitment and conviction, it doesn't work. So Marcus Shaw, the CEO of CoLab, has joined us today. He's talked about a great toolkit. He's talked about the way making. Guys, if you have a problem or a question, you have no reason not to call or visit CoLab. First floor. Don't even take your pen or paper. Walk in and say, Donna and Marcus sent me. Is that right?
I love it.
So with that, what final words do you want to give to that listener of encouragement who's tried and failed? Their family's telling them, no, you can't quit your job and no, you can't do this. But they're burning with a desire to do something in business or they already have it. What advice would you give them in our closing seconds?
2019 is a new year.
Mm-hmm.
You sit here on the second day of the year. There's a reason why the calendar happens, so that we can try things again. You will never make the shot that you don't take. And that's true whether it's in sports or it's in business.
I love that. You'll never make the shot you don't take. And guys, I don't take it for granted that you're here listening with me today. And Marcus, time is the most precious thing you can give to another person. So I thank you for being my friend. And I thank you for being on my show today.
Thank you so much.
I don't take it for granted. Guys, when my feet hit the floor every morning, I'm so humbled and I'm so grateful. So please know that I'm grateful to have this gig. I'm grateful they pay me to talk. Is that not silly? Like, I never thought I'd have that kind of gig, but hey, I'm going to ride this train as long as they will let me. Remember the Nooga Radio 92.7 FM. Guys, we bring you everything community. We bring you information and resources. We connect you with people to live your best life. Why? Because you should. So when you think about events or what's going on in the city and you want to get that message out, call us here. You can email us, thedonnashow@mail.com. So guess what, guys? We're out of here. Look, you see him bobbing. Look, those county commissioners, I got to get them, make them dance. All right, guys. Remember, Monday through Friday, weekdays, guys, you're right here, 10 o'clock a.m. to the 11 a.m. hour. Guys, we're bringing you everything community. We're loving life, and we're connecting you with information and resources to live your best life, guys. Guess what? It's the county, the region, and the city. Now, we're out.
3, 2, 1.
Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news now.
Pratt Land and Development filed a lawsuit against the city council after what it calls illegal zoning that made its property unusable. The lawsuit names specifically Chip Henderson, accusing him and other defendants of grossly overstepping their authority. They demand that the zoning be reset to where it was before. Authorities say Edward J. McCone, a former Catholic priest assigned to the Chattanooga area, died in prison. He reportedly had a pattern of abuse involving as many as 30 boys over many years, starting in the 1970s. He served various parishes around the state, including Chattanooga and Nashville. The Chattanooga Police Department's increased patrols end today as the holiday season comes to a close. The CPD, along with the THP, were present in force on our roadways for the holiday season. Part of the reason for that is October was one of the deadliest months ever for Chattanooga drivers. Russell Stroud, Nooga Radio News Talk 92.7 Action News now.
Chattanooga Morning News with Russ and Val. Weekdays from 6 to 9 a.m. on Nooga Radio 92.7 FM.
Nooga Radio, Chattanooga weather.